Welcome back to the Lincoln Way Patriots Football Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I'm Derek Tate here with Julio Rosayo. The score heading into the third quarter: the Lincoln Way Patriots 34, the Quad City Raiders 6. What got us here to this point? Well, we kicked it off with Rafael Alvarado nailing 2 field goals. Then 4 touchdown passes from Tony Powell. The first one to Ryan Nalen on a shovel pass. Then the second one to Greg Barksdale on 4th and 5 to the right flats. Then Daniel Mickey on a post, a beauty, a dime of a throw by Tony Powell. And then actually the Quad City Raiders then did answer with their first score of the night, with Rob Jones going down the right rail on the sideline to Justin Fisher for the first score of the night for the Raiders. And then as time was pretty close to expiring in the first half, the 4th touchdown pass to Alex Fuller. And that's how we arrived at 34-6, Julio.
Yeah, it's good to see Quad City getting on the board with that touchdown at the end of the first half. You thought they were going to get some momentum going, and then great job by the Patriots, utilizing the clock to their advantage, getting a touchdown with about 19 seconds left. So tip of the cap to Lincoln Way for getting a score before the end of the half. And they'd love nothing more than getting a quick score to start the second half and try to put the game to rest early.
Rob Jones, the kickoff for the Raiders. This one kicked down the right side. That's taken by Brian Pascasio at the 22-yard line. Pascasio down the right sideline. He's got a couple blockers, cuts it back at the 49-yard line. Fumble recovered by number 58 of the Lincoln Way Patriots, Dale Burgess.
Terrific job by the special teams unit for the Patriots. The kickoff return, blocking, getting that edge block down the sideline. And we're going to have a running clock. We get a penalty marker thrown. Not sure if it's going to be unsportsmanlike on the Patriots or not. It was interesting to note, before the end of the half, we had about 12 seconds left. I'm doing double duty tonight on top of color commentating. I'm also the official scorer. So I was given the signal to run the clock with 12 seconds left. Even before the kickoff, was told, hey, the officials just wanted a running clock at the end of the first half. And even before a play has begun to start the second half, was given the signal to run the clock. So I'm only speculating. I'll get confirmation, but I think we'll have a running clock this entire second half.
It would appear so. The Quad City Raiders didn't want anything to do with that last kickoff, especially with some of the onside craziness that has been the special teams kickoff unit for the Lincoln Way Patriots. They have a 1st and 10 in Raider territory at the 44-yard line following a great return from Brian Pascasio. Pascasio in the left slot, number 10, Ricky Harris, the running back. Tony Powell still in the game with 4 touchdown passes so far, looking to add to that total as they lead 34-6. Powell looking down the left rail, going deep, incomplete intended for number 24, Chris Muhammad, the intended target.
Had his man, maybe a half a step too short, Muhammad was. Tony, a terrific throw down the sideline.
You want to take your shots. I mean, down that left rail, you want to throw it out in front of him, and if Muhammad can get to it, great, but you don't want to short arm it and get a turnover here and give the Raiders any sort of momentum as they have a pretty comfortable lead, up 28.
Looking at the officials, the clock was running after that incomplete pass. No one turned around to hound me down to stop the clock, so we're going running clock the rest of the way.
We got a running clock, 12:40 and counting. 2nd and 10 from the 44-yard line of the Raiders is number 1, Tony Powell for the Lincoln Way Patriots, the 3-time MVP here in the MSFL. He's got Ricky Harris in the backfield with him, 4 wide receivers. Give goes to Ricky Harris. Bounces it back to the left side to the 40-yard line. 1st down and more, and tripped up by the right corner of the Quad City Raiders. Number 26, Marcus LaShawn on the stop. If Marcus LaShawn doesn't make that stop, perhaps Ricky Harris is in the end zone.
Oh, without a doubt.
And that is going to be good for a gain of 13 and a Patriots first down with 11:52 remaining in the third quarter. Tony Powell, 2 seasons ago, set the single game passing touchdown record. He's halfway to that mark. Don't know if he's going to get there with a running clock in the second half.
He could.
Well, crazier things have happened.
He would just need some quick plays, shots downfield, yards after the catch. I mean, if you can get a short dink and dunk broken into a touchdown or a couple broken tackles, that could be an easy touchdown.
Barksdale on the jet sweep. Dips inside, right sideline, slips a tackle at the 16, and dragged down at the 14-yard line by Manny Hamilton. That is going to be a gain of 12. Good for another Lincoln Way Patriots first down. The rushing attack, I mean, I know that we just came out of the half, and those Quad City Raiders, the 16 total that are active for tonight's contest, got a nice breather. But the running game starting to get going here for the Patriots.
Yeah, I was asking for it early in the ball game as the Patriots were utilizing a lot of the passing game, but at this stage, at this juncture, you should just run it.
You were begging for him to pound the rock earlier.
Well, I wasn't on my knees begging, but I was pleading for more of the ground
Like
game.
you said, they may have heard you earlier, but now they're going to that attack. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line for the Patriots. Powell, dump pass to number 8, Calvin Phillips, cuts it back, trying to navigate through traffic into the 10, to the 5, brought down at the 3-yard line. What a run after the catch on a simple dump pass to Calvin Phillips.
We had a Quad City defender. He was slow to get up. He got up immediately. He got up after he caught his breath, but he threw his helmet in sheer frustration.
Sean Bell.
I can imagine as Bell is pleading for a penalty, he thought he was given an illegal hit. Helmet's off, so he's being asked to come off the field. But if we can get another look at that run, if you're Quad City, if you're the coaching staff, that has to be demoralizing. You go east to west, then up the middle, and you pick up close to a first down, as we've got some laundry on the field at about the 5 and 6 yard line. Got this.
2 more flags thrown as Raider players were coming off of the field. We're going to get an explanation here in just a moment from the referee trying to clear this mess up.
So we get the clock stopped with 9:04 left as we
are looking at a goal-to-go situation as we await the call from the head referee. First and goal, it appears at the current moment from the 2-yard line. We will wait to see if it will be pushed out further or perhaps even closer to the goal line.
All right, here's another look. We've got the tail end of the play. We'll get that in just a second, just to show you the way the Patriots went east to west. Looks like 2 penalties on Quad City.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Raiders. 2 different accounts.
Here's the look. Here's the play. Catching the tail end of it again as just a terrific job of not giving up on the play, finding pockets of open space to get that 1st and goal.
And the Patriots are the beneficiary of 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. They have 1st and goal from inside the 1. Brian Pascasio, the lone back next to Tony Powell. 1st and goal, Patriots. High snap handled, tried to shovel it to Pascasio, picks it up, touchdown, Patriots. Brian Pascasio on a horrible snap by the center. Luckily, Tony Powell able to bat it down like he's playing volleyball. Pascasio warily picks it up and scoots into the end zone for the 5th touchdown of the night for the Lincoln Way Patriots.
And a good job by the Patriots eating a bunch of time off the clock, almost a 6-minute drive to start this second half for the Patriots.
The Lincoln Way Patriots lead the Quad City Raiders 40-6. Rafael Alvarado on to tack on the extra point. Alvarado's extra point is good. So with 9:01 remaining in the third quarter, the Lincoln Way Patriots lead the Quad City Raiders 41-6. You are watching the Lincoln Way Patriot Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I'm Derek Tate here with Julio Rosayo. Got to tip my hat to my partner here, Julio, who is running the scoreboard, the clock, all the above tonight.
You know, in this industry, you have to be a Swiss Army knife. You've got to learn multiple skills. The more work, the better, right? So I can put this on my resume that I've done color commentary. I'm going to pat myself. Color commentary and official score, all in one day's work.
I will be adding no such thing. I'm just going to add that I witnessed Julio do multiple things at once while I just spoke words into a microphone.
And was given another confirmation to run the clock.
As we tick down below the 8:50 mark here in Tinley Park, Illinois. Small clap, as I have referred to it as Tinsley Park earlier. Brought to my attention another thing. Julio is also editing my job on the mic
because
tonight.
I'm a broadcaster that has messed up on the job numerous times. So just wanted to help out my fellow compadre.
I would rather do it right, my friend. I appreciate all that you do.
There was one year I did a football game. This was in college, and I used the word physicalist.
Nice.
My director looks at me and it's like, you know that's not a word, right?
Alvarado's kickoff is fielded at the 8-yard line by Leonard Smith. Stacked up by a host of Patriots defenders led by number 29, Tavares Estes.
Needless to say, I had a facepalm moment at that juncture when I realized I used a non-word. But
were you looking for physicality?
You know, I have to go back to the film to figure out what context I was, what I was driving for. But maybe physicality or maybe physical play. I'd have to go back to the film.
You were looking for a word.
I was looking for something, that's for sure.
Physical was involved.
So we've got the first drive coming up for Quad Cities in the second half. And I'd say their last two drives of the first half were very promising. And that second drive ended up into a touchdown.
Yeah, they found the end zone for the first time of the night. Jeremiah Job actually kept the drive alive on that touchdown drive. It would have been a 4th and 13, but it ended up turning into a personal foul penalty on the Patriots. Another set of downs, and we know that Rob Jones hit Justin Fisher down the right sideline for the only score of the Raiders' night. 6:42 remaining in the third quarter. Lincoln Way Patriots lead the Quad City Raiders 41-6. Jones still under center, and at running back is still number 20, Brandon Bowdry. Here's the snap to Jones, gives to Bowdry, trying to find somewhere to go, and there is nothing but a wall of red, led by number 6, Lorenzo Hood. Get the feeling that if you run into Lorenzo Hood, you're not going much further, or you're going in the opposite direction. Lorenzo, not in my neighborhood. Do not run into the teeth of my defense. I'll wax on there try to come up with another good Lorenzo Hood pun. As we've got 2nd and 12, a loss of 2 for Brandon Bowdry. 2nd and 12 on the 23-yard line for the Quad City Raiders. Jones in the shotgun. Jones looking right, fires deep right side. There's no one home but a Lincoln Way Patriot, and that's Alex Fuller at the 30-yard line, down the right sideline, cuts it back, and dropped at the 17-yard line by Rob Jones, who threw the interception in the first place. There is a flag late after the play, but Julio, that throw had never stood a chance.
It did not. We had whistles. Clock is still running. And not sure if we have we do have an injured Lincoln Way player. An injured Quad City player.
And as we know, I see one Quad City Raider with his pads off sitting on the bench. He may have been ejected on that unsportsmanlike conduct. And with only other 15 total active players remaining for the Quad City Raiders, they can ill afford
That's an
injury.
Understatement. The clock stops with 5:0. Clock's running now, but it will stop at the 4:58 mark.
Nice interception return from Alex Fuller. The Lincoln Way Patriots force a turnover from Rob Jones, the quarterback of the Quad City Raiders. The Patriots lead the Raiders 41-6 with 4:58 remaining in the third quarter. It appears that the Patriots are going to take over at the 33-yard line with a 1st and 10, and the clock is running as we are under the 5-minute mark in the third quarter. I believe we may have a change at quarterback. I see number 11, Henry Ortiz. Tony Powell's night is done. 4 touchdown passes on the night. Ortiz in the shotgun with Calvin Phillips to his left and Ricky Harris to his right. Botched snap picked up by Ricky Harris, retreating into his own territory and dropped in the backfield. The Quad City Raiders wrestle up Ricky Harris, number 31 for the Quad City Raiders. Rade De La Rosa on the stop. His helmet comes off as he trots to the sideline. A paper-thin rotation, but that should help the Quad City Raiders cause. Big loss on the play. Second and 28 for the Lincoln Way Patriots.
Not many plays you can go into the playbook for 2nd and 28.
Pitch goes to Brian Pascasio, slips a tackle in the backfield, still going on his feet to the 40.
Wow.
Finally dropped back towards the original line of scrimmage. 19-yard gain on what should have been a tackle in the backfield.
It should have been a big tackle for a loss, but low center of gravity for Brian Pascasio. We'll take a look at the replay in just a moment, but literally Speedy had to bend down, avoid a tackle, gets up, and springs back to the original line of scrimmage. That was sensational by Pascasio. Sometimes it pays to be short as you have a defender. If a defender's coming at you at a high position, it's relatively easy to avoid a tackle. As we get a look at the replay here, you'll see Pascasio right there.
Low center of gravity, he just ducked out of it, kept his feet alive, and 18 yards later, it's 3rd and 9 as Ortiz rolls to his right, fires complete to Steve Trudeau, and that's going to be good for a Lincoln Way Patriots first down as he falls forward to the 15-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 18, good for a Patriots first down. They moved the pocket for Ortiz, and there was no one around Steve Trudeau, number 4.
Good reception, another first down as the Patriots look to close out this third quarter with a touchdown.
1:26 and counting in the third quarter. The Lincoln Way Patriots lead the Quad City Raiders 41-6. New quarterback Henry Ortiz, Pascasio in the backfield with him. 4 wide receiver set. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Ortiz.
Oh my.
Hello. Steve Trudeau popped and dropped in the backfield. 5-yard loss. Great hit from number 2, Manny Hamilton. And here's the replay. Trudeau never had a chance. Hamilton had a beat on that play from the get-go and made Trudeau pay. Whew.
Big hit.
The Raiders may be trailing by 35 points, but their spirits are not broken. Great hit from Manny Hamilton. 5-yard loss will bring up 2nd and 15 for the Lincoln Way Patriots with 23 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Single man-to-man bump coverage down on your near side of the screen. 25, Eric Pierce. Here's Ortiz rolling right, fires. That one's trapped and incomplete. Brandon Bowdry almost came up with a turnover for the Quad City Raiders. Instead, to start the fourth quarter, we'll have 3rd and 15 for the Lincoln Way Patriots from the 21-yard line. The score at the end of 3 quarters, the Lincoln Way Patriots 41, the Quad City Raiders 6. You are watching the Lincoln Way Patriot Football Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I'm Derek Tate with Julio Rosayo. We'll be right back. Welcome back to fourth quarter action here in Tinley Park, Illinois. You are watching the Lincoln Patriot Network, Lincoln Way Patriots Football Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I'm Derek Tate here with Julio Rosayo. As the clock begins to run to start the fourth quarter, the Patriots lead the Raiders 41-6 with a 3rd and 15 at the 20-yard line. New quarterback under center, Henry Ortiz, looking to convert a 3rd and long. Shotgun snap goes to Ortiz. He's going to go ahead and give it to number 10, Ricky Harris.
And we got a penalty marker at about the 21-yard line. It's going to be holding.
Holding on the Lincoln Way Patriots. Interesting situation as the Raiders actually force a 4th and 5, but you feel like the Patriots can just go for it, so they choose to push them back an additional 10 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 25 from the 30-yard line. Wouldn't be surprised here to see if the Lincoln Way Patriots go ahead and go with another draw or screen of some sort. Tony Powell, 4 touchdown passes on the night.
It would appear every time we have a penalty on the play, we'll stop the clock. And once those are resolved, we immediately go back to a running clock. Again, story of the night, Quad City dressing 16 players. They're now down to 15 with one who left the game a little bit ago.
Henry Ortiz, high snap, fires deep down the right side.
Wide
There
open.
is no one near Daniel Mickey, who could have had his second touchdown of the night. A concentration drop because there was no Raiders even anywhere near Daniel Mickey.
What a throw that was by Henry Ortiz, the backup quarterback. And he stepped, planted, and threw a nice ball into the end zone. That should have been a touchdown.
Can't throw it any better than that.
Oh,
Great job by the offensive line. Gave a nice pocket. Platform, steps into it, throws it with confidence.
Anytime a quarterback can step into his throw, you have to thank your offensive lineman for containing their block for well over 6 seconds. That's not easy to do.
That's why you got to take the offensive lineman out every now and then. I know that they can rack up a bill if you're not going to an all-you-can-eat buffet. Ortiz on 4th and 25. He's in trouble, rolling left. Still looking, fires against his body, looking for Brian Pascasio, touchdown!
My goodness, what a job, Henry Ortiz. Play collapsed, was looking for a receiver, kept looking for someone, and a heads-up play as well by one of the offensive linemen. I believe it was 76. As you look at the replay, good throw by Henry Ortiz, but you saw a moment ago the offensive lineman avoided any sort of reach block, any sort of a potential block in the back penalty, and still Henry to step into his throw.
Self-discipline by the offensive tackle, like you mentioned. I've never seen a Hail Mary up by 35 points, and that is answered by Brian Pascasio as that ball hung in the air out to dry. But the Lincoln Way Patriots add 6 more points and now lead the Quad City Raiders 47-6. Henry Ortiz, whew. Rolling, he did everything you're not supposed to do as a quarterback there. Rolling against his body, heaves it off his back foot.
Yeah, that was. That's one you don't show the youngsters at home what not to do.
Alvarado on to attempt the extra point.
High snap.
High snap, and number 28. We saw what happened last time he tried to do this. Denied again. This time, there is no penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct for unnecessary roughness. Denied again on the 2-point conversion. The score remains the Lincoln Way Patriots 47, Quad City Raiders 6. As we approach the 11-minute mark here in the 4th quarter, you are watching Lincoln Way Patriot Football Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I'm Derek Tate here with Julio Rosseo. Just to prove you still can see some excitement despite a 35-point lead. Practically a Hail Mary there from Henry Ortiz to Bryant Pascasio.
I want to tip our cap to our great crew, Timmy Helms, directing for us, getting us those great replays and cueing all the terrific camera work from Eric Willowite below us here in the press box. Tip of the cap to those guys. And this is technology at its finest. We've got, we've got 4 guys handling an entire broadcast production. That is the way for the future.
And you're doing scoreboard duties.
Yeah, that's right.
Eric Willowite and Tim Helms, well done, gentlemen.
Eric in front of us, handling our 3-camera setup, doing a marvelous job as well. And it's hard. And I want to say hello to Tyson Roth, who does color commentary for Patriot football here on the Patriots Network, powered by IMS. He's watching from home. I'm sure he's getting geared up for Bayou Bengal football, LSU, an SEC play later this summer.
Alvarado, his kick go in his return, or fielded by Brandon Bowdry at the 9-yard line, and is going to be shoved out of bounds as he hand fights with Antoine Jones, number 27. And the Quad City Raiders will take over there with just under 9 minutes remaining in tonight's contest.
Don't have scores, but action tonight across the MSFL. The Illinois Cowboys are taking on Rock County tonight. Matchups of importance across the Thomas Conference. The Chicago Chaos are taking on the Chicago Ducks tonight in the city as we stop the clock with 8:38 left.
I do want to mention that next up for the Lincoln Way Patriots will be the 1-3 Joliet Thunder next Saturday on July 21st. And for the Quad City Raiders, they get to sit back and relax, and they're going to need every bit of their bye week after this game.
Yeah, that ride home tonight is going to be long, and
I'd be asleep within 5 minutes.
yeah, especially once your adrenaline goes away after a football game. You don't necessarily feel those bumps and bruises as a game is going on, but as soon as the whistle blows, you're gonna and that energy starts to wane away from your body. You're gonna, oh my god, oh where's this bump? Oh my gosh, it's.
I don't even know where those muscles exist.
Exactly. I mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, but for the 16 players that dressed, suited up, and played tonight for Quad City, I tip my cap to those guys. Given their record, given things aren't going their way, some of these guys with their teammates maybe not showing up or quitting on them, they could have easily quit too. They could have said, forget this. I'm gonna spend time with my friends on the weekend. I'm gonna spend time with friends with my wife, kids, whatever it may be. No, these guys are still playing, and they're giving effort.
I thought they've battled. I thought they've battled real hard
absolutely.
tonight.
Absolutely. So I tip my cap to these guys. It shows character that you don't see on the football field. It translates off the field.
Absolutely. And the Quad City Raiders will resume action at home in Rock Island versus the 3-1 Chicago Ducks 2 weeks from tonight. Jones, still the quarterback, Brandon Bowdry, who has done a nice job in the backfield doing what he can on the carry, brought down by number 6, Lorenzo Hood. No gain on the play. He's stacked up at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Do I see number 1 playing free safety?
Yeah, that
for the
is
Lincoln Way
Tony
Patriots?
Powell. It's interesting. Yeah, Tony Powell, Patriots quarterback, in the defensive backfield. I'm wondering who he convinced to get out on the field, and you don't see this. If I were a coach and my starting quarterback asked me, "Hey, coach, let me get my glory days back. Let me go out in the defensive backfield," I respectfully would laugh and say, "I'm sorry, Junior. Take off the pads."
5'11", 175-pound quarterback that is essential to your team's success.
Without a doubt.
And I'm a competitor, and I'm Tony Powell. If something's coming towards me in a ball carrier, I'm going to try to make a play on it.
Would you lower your shoulder?
I would lower my shoulder. I'm thinking in the moment when I'm a competitor. Jones here on 2nd and 10 takes a snap, and that one is batted down by Pat Devers, number 30, the defensive end. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Bottom of your screen, Tony Powell, number 1, gets subbed out of the ball game. And actually, if you're watching on the bottom of your screen, I think Tony was a little bit upset he was being tagged out. And he was able to convince his teammate to go back on the sideline.
Antoine Jones was number 27 coming on the field trying to say, hey, Tony, enough is enough. Tony starts to head towards the sideline and then waves him off. And he's still in at free safety on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, the body language said Tony did not want to get out of the field.
Well, I understand. Tony's a competitor, right? He's somebody that loves to play the game. These Saturdays mean something to him. So, naturally, he doesn't want to call it quits after one half of football. I agree with you, though. This team's got bigger plans than the second half of this game, which has already been decided.
He's playing deep. Position at the 45, so
3rd and 10. Jones takes the snap, looking left, steps up in the pocket, in trouble, and he's going to be sacked. And that's going to be J.R. Sturgill on the sack, leading the way for the Patriots defense. And to no surprise, the Patriots defense has been stout tonight, only giving up 6 points. Really, it's self-inflicted 6 points when you consider the fact that the lone drive that the Raiders scored on was in fact a drive that was kept alive by a personal foul penalty and a miscommunication in the defensive backfield between Alex Fuller and Robert Riley. So here we go, 4th and 13 with 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in Tinley Park. And it looks like the Raiders are in punting formation. Tony Powell has been taken out. Number 7, Alex Fuller, is back to receive for the Lincoln Way Patriots. Here's the punt. Short punt. That's going to fall to the ground safely and touched by the Raiders.
No one touched him unless the whistle was blown, and there's a whistle now.
It looked like there was a little bit of confusion as far as whether the play was blown dead or not, but apparently almost I'm not going to call it a mercy rule, but the ball was touched by a Raider player at the 45-yard line. They blow it dead, and the Lincoln Way Patriots will take over in Raider territory, leading 47-6. You are watching the Lincoln Way Patriot Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. I'm Derek Tate here with Julio Rosayo, as well as Tim Helms and Eric Willowhite on camera.
Look ahead to the next couple of weeks for the Lincoln Way Patriots. They're in Joliet next Saturday night for a matchup against the Thunder. July 28th, the long road trip up to Door County, Wisconsin. A lovely part of the country. They'll take on the Door County Destroyers on the 28th. And then the month of August, 2 matchups before the playoffs begin. Illinois Cowboys on August the 4th right here at Andrew High School. And they close out the season in Rock County on August 11th against the Rock County Rage. We've got a timeout, and we stop the clock with 3:42 remaining in the ballgame.
Recap on tonight's action, how we arrived at 47-6. 4 touchdown passes in the first half by quarterback Tony Powell. First one going to Ryan Nalen, then the second one to Greg Barksdale. Daniel Mickey with the 3rd touchdown on a beautifully thrown post route. And then Alex Fuller on a fade to the back of the end zone. And that would essentially be the end of the night for Tony Powell. Greg Barksdale.
Well, let's put an asterisk on there. We thought it was the end of the night for Tony Powell.
Correct. Brian Piscasio then would add a touchdown on the ground on a mishandled snap at the 1-yard line. He was aware, picked it up, and handled business at the 1. And then caught a Hail Mary from Henry Ortiz. And that's how we have arrived at 47-6 with 3:42 remaining in the game. Ortiz, the man under center, new running back for the Patriots. That's number 80, Joe Smith.
Oh, look at Ortiz.
Ortiz shakes a tackler on the option keeper.
The only negative part about that run for Henry Ortiz was the way he was handling the football. Everything else was great. But he was holding on to the ball like it was a loaf of bread. And some coaches would be irate if you're holding the ball like a loaf of bread, meaning just one hand and just dangling it all around.
It's like he's a little kid with a sparkler in his hand.
You gotta protect the ball.
13-yard run from Henry Ortiz on the option keeper. Approaching the 3, just under the 3-minute mark here in Tinley Park. The Lincoln Way Patriots threatening again, leading by 41 points over the Quad City Raiders. Henry Ortiz in the shotgun with Joe Smith as his lone back. Smith gets the carry, slips out of a tackle in the backfield, winding back,
wow.
Still going, hurdles over a defender, still going, touchdown, Lincoln Way Patriots.
Broken tackles turn into another touchdown for the Patriots. What a run.
32-yard touchdown rumble by number 80, Joe Smith.
Another look at the replay. One broken tackle. There's another. There's a third. Trying to drag him into the ground. Unsuccessful.
That last one was just a power spin. Just get off of me. I've got reservations for 6. Get off me. Touchdown, Patriots. And they have crossed the 50-point threshold here tonight. The Patriots lead 53-6 over the Quad City Raiders as Alvarado trots on to attempt the extra point. And you got to feel for the Quad City Raiders' second straight game that they have surrendered at least 50 points to the opposing team.
Right now I'm looking at the sideline, and what was 5 guys dressed on the sideline has been dwindled to 2.
And the extra point from Alvarado is good. So that'll bring the score here to the Lincoln Way Patriots 54 and the Quad City Raiders 6
And
with just under 110 left.
My apologies, Derek. Given the fact that we've had a running clock since the end of the first half, I think that was the final play from scrimmage. We're at 57 seconds left. What's the urgency to kick it off and risk any injuries? That's the ball game.
That'll be the ball game here, and again, a thin crew here for us tonight. Great job by Tim Helms and Eric Willowhite, as well as the clock operator and color commentator, Julio Rosseo. Julio, I know we've watched the better part of a blowout here, but any thoughts for the Patriots moving forward? Some things that you can take away.
Great win for the Patriots. They were able to move the ball well throughout the course of the evening. Tip your cap again to Quad City and the Raider players who came out on the road and performed. But again, for the Patriots, another win. And they got to take it week by week. Another tough matchup next week on the road at Joliet. But they'll certainly enjoy this victory tonight.
Absolutely. And again, for the Quad City Raiders, they do get a muchly needed break in a bye week this upcoming Saturday. They return to action in 2 weeks. And the Quad City Raiders drop to 1-5 on the season. The Lincoln Way Patriots improve to a perfect 5-0. For Julio Rosseo, I'm Derek Tate. You have been watching the Lincoln Way Patriot Network, powered by the Illinois Media School. Your final score, the Lincoln Way Patriots 54, the Quad City Raiders 6. Until next time, later, says the Tater.